Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Does Eric covertly end Steffi's domination? Steffi Forrester is now portrayed as a despot in Bold and the Beautiful. When Eric Forrester questioned Kate about the reasons behind her actions at FC on the CBS soap opera, she even clapped back. When it came to seeking answers, his granddaughter disregarded the man who founded Forrester Creations. Fans of B&B witnessed Eric go through a difficult period when he felt undervalued at FC. In response, he launched his legacy line and organized a designer competition with his son, taking matters into his own hands. The time is right for him to get involved once more. Is Steffi Forrester adopting a diabolical attitude in Bold and the Beautiful? Fans of Bold and the Beautiful observe how Steffi Forrester now behaves more like a tyrant than a co-CEO. Steffi immediately silenced Eric Forrester as he tried to discuss his worries with her. Katie Logan was instructed by Steffi to draft a press release regarding Hope Logan's departure from FC. On Bold and Beautiful this week, Eric Forrester expressed his belief that this was happening too quickly. Steffi, however, disregarded him. As though Eric hadn't even entered the room, she went to Katie and told the Logan sister to send Hope a copy. Spoilers for Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and Eric Forrester in Bold and the Beautiful. Eric is reminded that he gave Rich Forrester and Steffi control of the business. So, are his hands tied, or what? Bold and the Beautiful hinted last week that he will probably intervene if his granddaughter's unruly actions continue. Spoilers for B&B, Rich Forrester tiptoes and Eric Forrester fumes. Rich Forrester was tiptoeing around his daughter in Bold and the Beautiful. John Finnegan wasn't very helpful when he went to Finn to get some answers. Because he believed Hope deserved it, he supported his wife in firing her stepsister. Hope was cautioned by his advice. The Logan daughter is lusting after him, according to the doctor. He therefore thinks that she was trying to woo him that day by sliding into underwear. Fans of Bold and the Beautiful, however, question how he could have such thought in light of her remarks when he entered the design room that day. Hope claimed that although she had been waiting for him, she mistook Finn's arrival for Carter Walton's. She didn't know Finn was coming because she hadn't seen him in weeks. Does Finn believe that Hope, dressed in lingerie, hid behind that screen and stayed there for days until Finn happened to walk by? Bold and the Beautiful viewers don't understand that, and fans believe Finn shouldn't either. Is Eric's covert cleanup of Steffi's mess part of Bold and the Beautiful? Fans of Bold and the Beautiful can see how angry Eric Forrester is at Hope Logan's termination. On the opposite side of town, Carter and Hope plan to eliminate Ridge and Steffi. Only if Steffi Forrester and her father sign documents without reading them will Carter's ruse succeed. Before signing the documents, they typically don't examine them. But someone could want to, given all the suspicions that surround Carter these days. What if Eric Forrester is that someone? Lately, he has been spending time in the office. Perhaps he notices that his son and granddaughter have already signed the forms on the desk? Was he going to stop it? Or would he give the COO an opportunity to tidy up Steffi's mess? B&B, Eric authorizes Steffi to be sidelined. Eric Forrester might see the LLC under Carter's name in Bold and the Beautiful. He might ask his COO before taking any further action if he did. Carter would then most likely inform Eric that he believes the business is on the decline and that Steffi is using it as her personal playground of grievances. Or, feigning ignorance, Eric might ignore it and let his COO to get away with it. In any case, Eric may watch in silence while Carter rescues FC from the terrible predicament Steffi put them in. There are a few other possible outcomes, of course. Before signing, Ridge or Steffi Forrester may choose to review the document. Brooke shares Hope's new path with Finn. According to Tuesday, November 19th spoilers for the Bold and the Beautiful, Carter Walton trusted Steffi and Ridge Forrester to make sure everything was in order, so he was confident they wouldn't notice anything was wrong with the LLC paperwork. Carter was conflicted about whether he should take over Forrester Creations and violate that trust. Carter had always prized loyalty, so Hope Logan could see that he was having trouble, but she countered that loyalty might occasionally be misguided. Hope believed they had made a concerted effort to follow the rules, but she didn't think it made a difference because the game was always set up for the Forresters to win. Hope even went so far as to say that Carter's international luxury brand concept was only rejected by the Forresters because they didn't come up with it first. In the end, Carter stated that they had to defend themselves because Hope believed that he may lose his job if he continued to help the Logans. Carter, however, made the decision to give reaching Ridge and Steffi another go. Carter predicted that he would carry out his takeover plot if it didn't work. Ridge cut Steffi off while she and Katie Logan, Heather Tom, were arguing about the press release at Forrester Creations. Steffi was concerned that Ridge was beginning to change his mind after listening to Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, while Ridge simply wished this whole thing with Hope had never happened. Ridge encouraged Katie to hold off on releasing the press statement after emphasizing how significant Hope's departure was. Steffi claimed that when Katie left, Ridge seemed to be standing by Hope and Brooke. Steffi seemed unsure, despite Ridge's assurance that he had her back. Eventually, Carter appeared to urge Steffi and Ridge to bring Hope and her line back. Soon after they made the announcement, Steffi pretended that Hope's termination would be well known. Steffi responded that Carter was damn right that this was personal when he claimed that it was, but she also mentioned that it was business-related because she couldn't collaborate with an unreliable person. Carter urged Ridge to support his claim that this was all a misunderstanding. Without Hope and her line, Carter said, Forrester Creations would be a completely different place. Carter cautioned that since Steffi and Ridge were unaware of the consequences, they had to put things right. On Tuesday's B&B episode, Brooke arrived at the Cliff home to meet John Finn Finnegan. Knowing why Brooke was there, Finn claimed that Ridge had also been there earlier in order to discuss how out of control Hope was. That remark stunned Brooke, who argued that the events in the design office were an accident. Brooke reassured Finn that this was all a misunderstanding and that Hope had no interest in him and was going in a completely different way. Brooke agreed that Hope erred when she kissed Finn at Eric Forrester's, John McCook, party, but she didn't believe her daughter should face lifelong punishment. Finn remarked that making fun of his wife wouldn't help Steffi win this debate because Brooke also pointed out that Steffi had committed mistakes of her own. Nevertheless, Brooke encouraged Finn to speak with Steffi and persuade her to address this before it was too late since she believed that firing Hope might backfire with the media. When Brooke entered the cottage, Hope was having love flashbacks with Carter. According to Brooke, she visited Finn and updated Hope on their talk. Hope concurred and repeated the notion after Brooke brought up the fact that she had told Finn he needed to persuade Steffi before it was too late. According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter and Hope might take a risk together, so keep an eye out. Furious Finn, Katie's stance, Brooke's press prediction, and Carter's ultimatum. Is at last here. Carter Walton gives an ultimatum in today's episode. Highlights of The Bold and the Beautiful recap. A forecast is made by Brooke Logan. John Finnegan becomes agitated. Furthermore, Katie Logan expresses her disapproval of Steffi Forrester Finnegan's behavior. Recap of The Bold and the Beautiful, Katie Logan's sincerity. Steffi sits down at her workstation at Forrester Creations, according to the B&B recap for Tuesday, November 19th. According to Katie, she has forwarded the press release to Hope Logan. In order to avoid surprising Hope, Steffi argues that it is the professional thing to do. This is hardly a professional call from Katie. Katie's tone bothers Steffi. Hope's actions, according to Steffi, were unprofessional. Katie is asked by Steffi to imagine herself in her position. Katie is adamant that there is a miscommunication. Carter claims that Steffi and Ridge Forrester have faith in him to keep things organized. They never read it, so Carter doesn't think they will. The fact that they are going to take over Forrester Creations is unbelievable to Carter. Hope has a terrified expression on her face as she holds the papers to her chest. At the Cliff home, Brooke apologizes for interrupting a shirtless Finn. Angrily, Finn claims to already understand Brooke's purpose. Brooke is perplexed. Ridge was already there, according to Finn. What did Ridge want? Brooke was unaware of this. Finn advises discussing Hope's uncontrollable behavior. At Forrester Creations, Ridge and Katie are conversing. After reading it through, Ridge asks Katie if that is what she sent Hope. Yes, it is. While Steffi sits quietly at her desk, Ridge appears dissatisfied. At last, Steffi adds her voice and goes on to defend her choice. Ridge wishes this had never occurred. Ridge is questioned by Steffi on his evolving attitude on Hope. Steffi queries whether her father is paying attention to Brooke. Finn is informed by Brooke that Hope is not unmanageable. At Eric Forrester's John McCook party, Hope made a single error. According to Finn, it's a significant error. Hope apologized, according to Brooke, and it didn't happen again. Finn mentions the fall lingerie. According to Brooke, it was an accident. Hope pinned me to the desk wearing lingerie, says Finn. Steffi entered. Based on Finn's account, it sounds like an assault. It surprises me that Steffi hasn't charged Hope yet. Returning to the episode, Brooke maintains that everything is a simple miscommunication. Finn, you are not of interest to Hope. Hope is asked by Carter if she ought to read the press release once more. Hope finds it hard to believe. Poof! The heritage of Hope is no more. Hope goes on to discuss how her years of labor have been in vain. Carter takes up the papers and rethinks his strategy. Ridge and Steffi argue over Hope's dismissal. Steffi defends her choice. According to Ridge, it's about the business. Since Hope is the daughter of Brooke Logan, Katie argues that this isn't an employee, which will cause a stir. Katie goes off to take care of business. Ridge is instructed by Steffi to specify which side he supports. Ridge doesn't seem to be supporting her, according to Steffi. Steffi insists that Ridge seems to be standing up for Hope and Brooke. John Finnegan's Fury, a recap of The Bold and the Beautiful. Finn and Brooke are still arguing, according to The Bold and the Beautiful recap. Brooke claims to understand what it's like to be punished for an action she didn't take. Finn concurs, although this isn't the case. Hope must accept responsibility and move on because her actions were wrong and there was no injustice. Finn believes it's not a good look to deny it. Brooke expresses herself rather clearly, I hope you're not wanted. The way she is going is very different. She is completely uninterested in you. Finn appears perplexed. Or possibly injured. Perhaps all Finn wants is for Hope to want him. Hope claims to be able to see Carter's conflict. She insists that Hope is also conflicted. Loyalty has always been important to Carter. Carter takes pride in that. According to Hope, loyalty can occasionally be misguided. Is this one of those times? Carter asks Hope. Hope claims that even though the game is made for them to win, they have attempted to follow their regulations. Hope and Carter both experience rejection and abandonment. Hope accuses Steffi. Hope brings up Carter's proposal for expansion once more. Must read, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Bill's reunion feeds Batty's new plot, and Brooke becomes Luna's next victim? According to Hope, the Forresters were unable to imagine that vision, much less bring it to pass. Hope informs Carter that this is the true reason his pitch was turned down. Carter points out that the Logans have been pummeled by the Forresters over the years. According to Hope, Brooke was assigned a non-position at Forrester and her line is entirely reliant on Ridge's assistance. No one would challenge Steffi's decision to fire Katie next, according to Hope. Hope tells Carter that Steffi will want him to go if he keeps helping the Logans. Ridge will back Steffi, not his closest friend, according to Hope. Carter asserts that there is no turning back if they take this action. Do you really want to do this? Says Hope. Carter argues that they gave them no other option. Before submitting the paperwork, Carter will speak with Ridge one more time. Hope is told to wait for Carter's call. Hope claims that she always has faith in Carter. They share a kiss. Finn is reminded by Brooke that he used to be friends with Hope. Until Hope crossed the line, says Finn. Hope is not a housewrecker, according to Brooke. Although Hope went too far, she shouldn't receive a permanent punishment. Steffi has also made blunders, according to Brooke. According to Brooke, the media will question why Steffi is making such bad choices for the company. While Brooke cautions that it might blow up in her face, Finn has faith in Steffi. Brooke asserts that it is the right thing to do for Forrester even if Finn doesn't think it is the right thing to do for Hope. Before it's too late, Brooke advises Finn to speak with Steffi and persuade her to back off. Ridge enters the office and makes an effort to speak with Steffi. Steffi explains that he always has Ridge's back when he gives him the silent treatment. It seems to Steffi that Ridge is faltering. Steffi acknowledges that Hope's dismissal was personal. Steffi counters that she always prioritizes her business. Ridge claims that while he understands, they must exercise caution in how they respond to this circumstance. Ridge refers to it as delicate. Ridge believes that now is not the appropriate moment to go to the press. Carter enters as Steffi asks Ridge whether he believes the Hope situation will work itself out. Carter wants to find a solution before things go out of hand. In front of the blazing fireplace at the cabin, Hope waits. Hope remembers the words, body, and sports vehicle of Carter. Hope remembers that Carter signed the paper. Brooke steps in. Hope is clearly taken aback. As Brooke acknowledges speaking with Finn, Hope takes a sip of her coffee. According to Brooke, it wasn't very successful. Brooke hopes Finn had thought Hope wasn't interested in him. Brooke mentions how Hope's heart was stolen by Carter. Hope says something intriguing, "I wouldn't say he stole it. I handed it to him." Hope says it with a small smile on her face. After saying, "anyway," with an uneasy expression, Brooke shares with Hope what she recommended to Finn. Carter discusses Hope's dismissal and optics. Ridge supports Steffi and attempts to limit the harm. By tomorrow, it will be ancient news, according to Steffi. Carter claims that despite all of Hope and the Logans' achievements, they have been ignored for years. Carter acknowledges Steffi's injuries, but it doesn't justify firing Hope. Steffi asserts her own rights. How can Steffi collaborate with Hope when she claims she cannot trust her? According to Carter, Steffi's problems with Hope are influencing business choices. Carter is told to inhale by Ridge. Carter doesn't breathe in. Carter continues. According to Carter, Forrester Creations won't be the same if Steffi doesn't bring Hope and HFTF back. Hope for the future must always have a place at Forrester Creations, Carter continues. They have no idea what's at stake if they don't do it, Carter says. Ridge observes that Carter's hand is holding the file folder even more tightly. As Ridge Forrester struggles with a decision that could change the course of the family business, Carter Walton finds himself pulling the strings, and the complex web of relationships and power struggles at Forrester Creations takes yet another dramatic turn. As friendships change and loyalties are put to the test, The Bold and the Beautiful offers another gripping installment in its ongoing story. Long renowned for his calm manner and modest skill, Carter Walton is emerging from the shadows with a fresh confidence. Carter has accepted his position as a subdued but powerful influencer after becoming tired of being ignored in the inner ring of Forrester Creations. His recent behavior shows that he is a man who is prepared to challenge convention and change his own course in life. Carter uses his knowledge of business law to find a hidden provision in the original paperwork of Forrester Creations. If properly used, this provision may change the hierarchy of the organization and decision-making authority. Carter sees the opportunity and uses this information as leverage to make his point. The proposition that Carter makes to Ridge is a combination of an ultimatum and a solution. Carter makes sure Ridge views his idea as the better option by presenting it as a way to stabilize the business. Convincing the skeptics. Carter's composed, reasonable delivery conceals the seriousness of his strategy. Despite his reputation for skepticism, Ridge is captivated by Carter's case. The Forrester family's unwavering patriarch, Ridge Forrester, finds himself in a difficult moral and strategic position. Ridge has to strike a careful balance between upholding his family's legacy and making business-wise judgments as Carter's proposal looms large. The conflict between Ridge's professional obligations and personal allegiances exacerbates his difficulty. On the one hand, he feels a need to protect Thomas's and Steffi's jobs in the corporation. Conversely, Carter's approach provides a means of escaping the upheaval that threatens Forrester Creations. Ridge is cautious of any action that would weaken Steffi and Thomas's influence because of his devotion to them. However, recent blunders have put his trust in their leadership to the test. Ridge understands that Carter's suggestion might settle current disputes with little harm to the business's image. Despite his misgivings, this practicality forces him to make a concession. In the end, Ridge accepts Carter's demands, but only under restrictions that guarantee his family's fundamental principles are upheld. His choice is a calculated gamble that has the potential to either improve Forrester Creations or widen the gap between its stakeholders. The choices made by Carter and Ridge during their behind-the-scenes negotiations will unavoidably have an impact on other people in the Forrester orbit. Longtime adversaries Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester are forced to respond to circumstances beyond their complete control. Carter's success, in Hope's opinion, confirms her suspicion that the business need new ideas. She aligns herself with Carter's vision in the hopes of gaining an advantage against Steffi, despite her continued skepticism about his intentions. Meanwhile, Steffi worries that her power may be threatened by Carter's increasing clout. Ridge's emphasis on compromise conflicts with her natural tendency to push back, making her feel misled and marginalized. A number of significant events are put in motion by the increasingly precarious power dynamics within Forrester Creations. Carter's growing influence. Carter's relationship with Ridge will grow more complicated as he asserts his authority. Will ambition cause them to drift apart, or will he continue to be an ally? Steffi and Thomas are unlikely to approve of Ridge's compromise because they might see it as a betrayal. The Forrester family may become even more divided as a result of this. Hope and Steffi's rivalry. Hope and Steffi will continue to struggle for control of the company as a result of the upheavals at Forrester Creations. Carter and Ridge's collaboration might be a game-changer for Forrester Creations. It remains to be seen if it causes new tensions or a period of tranquility. There is no doubt that the consequences will be nothing short of explosive, and the stakes have never been higher.